guys, what is going on? My name is Virtual Riot, and I want to show you guys the project file to one of the songs of my new EP called German Engineering. And the song is called Pray For Riddim. It's the first song on the EP. And I just wanted to walk you guys through the project file if you guys are interested to see what I did, how I made the sounds, how I mixed it down. So I've got it open right here. And there's a lot of tracks. I think in total we are counting about 94 tracks. And the track begins with this very epic church organ intro. So for that I used Omnisphere, and I layered a church organ with a choir actually. So there's like dramatic choir and the church organ, and then there's like a little solo on top. So yeah, those are just patches from Omnisphere, which is amazing for this kind of stuff. And then it just like goes with an extra 4 bars, goes straight into the intro. I think those horns are like the sickest part here. I think that's a layer of samples and contact libraries. I've actually made these in a different project file, so these are here in audio. I have that a couple of times where I would make loops. For example, there's like these little intro background loops here. That I made prior to this in a session where I just sit down and manipulate samples, put them into weird plugins, and then just like create my own private sample pack. This is just a simple serum with lots of saw waves. I think I froze this because it's 16 voices, maybe twice. Yeah, just one time. And just like place this little cluster chord, kind of like a little build up here. I hope my CPU isn't going to die now. Turn it up. Also, those dramatic strings are from another contact library. I think this is from Symphobia, the first Symphobia. They have all these cinematic, like trailer-like risers. Very useful for these kind of breaks. And then it goes into another build-up. All right, mate. Off your bloody pocket. With samples from the sniper from Team Fortress 2. There's all kinds of risers going on here. Another serum patch that has like a little rhythm and detuned saw waves. That just goes higher and higher, and then there's more reverb and delay coming in towards the end. What else do I have here? There's some riser samples. I think halfway through there's this little break. All right, mate. There's this like little subtle riser that I like that's just doing right after that break, just as like an additional element of tension. Classic psycho strings. And then the drop is very loud. As you can see, the master is clipping in the red. I've actually done like a few unorthodox things here where I mastered it with ozone, but I'm actually deactivating a limiter that's on as soon as the drop hits. And then as you can see, the master clips at plus 14 for the snare transient. Yeah, I just wanted to try this kind of approach this time because when I was mastering this, I noticed that with the limiter, the snare and kick transients just got a little weak, and without it, just this intense clipping on the transient would make them a little more crunchy. But be careful when you do something like that and if you go into the red. But yeah. The drums here are kind of fun. It changes from this very high, like champagne bottle pop snare into a proper rhythm snare. That's just a layer of all kinds of samples, like tons of claps and a kick under it. And so the basses, you'll see that some of these are just samples. So these again are from sessions where I just did sound design and just saved like a bunch of cool noises, and then I would just put them in here. Same with all these weird fills. This one, for example. Those are all from like earlier sessions, or that guy. But the two main sounds are from straight up patches. For example, this guy. So that's just like a really squarey kind of wave. With lots of distortion on it, not on the patch, but afterwards. So there's like this little rack I made where I just put an OTT on it, and the Voxengo tube amp, a saturator, camel fat, little radiator from Sound Toys, the sausage fattener, another OTT, just like every conceivable saturator in a row. But they're all just turned up to maybe 9 or 10%. But those all together just saturate the shit out of that sound. And then later on in the next section over here, that's actually the same patch. The only difference is this time the first oscillator is getting FM'd by the second one, which is set to a saw wave. So that's just still the same patch, just with some modulation. And this other sound up here, I think I froze that because it was breaking my CPU. This is just lots of noise through the comp filter in Serum. Yeah. There's also some background elements here just to fill up empty space. This EP in general turned out really dry, but still I put like some small subtle elements in the back, for example. A very faint detuned saw on the root node, or there's this little kind of riser in the back. That just goes higher and higher. Eventually you can hear it over here. Or these guys. So yeah, that's just the general setup of the drop. All my tracks run through a sidechain channel down here, except for the kick and the snare. So if I solo that, that's literally everything except for the kick and the snare. And that's being sidechained by Shaperbox and is being triggered by a MIDI trigger. That's just the way I like to do it. Yeah. And then there's like another 8-bar build-up where it goes straight into the second half. Embarrassing. Again, the patches here are mostly from other sessions, so this is all stuff I did a few days ahead. Also, this is not the purple Lamborghini yoink. I know it sounds like the purple Lamborghini yoink, but it is not the purple Lamborghini yoink. I tried to remake the purple Lamborghini yoink, and this is the result. But I did not sample it. Just want to make that clear. Oh, here, even because apparently the samples had such a messy sub bass when I made them that I just cut it out and then added an extra sub. That just like mimics the pattern of the basses. And it's just a sine wave from Serum with a little bit of saturation. Yeah. I think that's the only time where there's a separate sub actually in this track, because I was very lazy and I just always used the sub from the initial bass patches, which can be dangerous, especially if you put a ton of effects on them afterwards. But I was lazy and it sounded fine, so I was like, okay, this could work. Sometimes all this tons of saturation actually makes it sound a little more beefy if the sub is inside the patch and it kind of crunches the top end up. Yeah. And there's this little breakdown in the middle. Oh yeah, these little bells here are also pretty nice. But then a Nexus patch, and this is my favorite patch from UVI Falcon. It's like a little children's music box, not music box, xylophone. Kind of sounds like Christmas. Like that. And then the second drop is also, it's from the track I made for Lost Lands, just to play it in the set, but then the track itself wasn't like very long. It was just like a minute long and just something I made for the show. But then I thought I actually want to put it out, and then it just turned into the second drop for this. As you can see, there's like 3 muted tracks here that I think they're like the old second drop idea. Let's see if I can turn those on. What is this? That's kind of cool. That's a little messy. So yeah, there's all these ideas still in here. I didn't delete the serums, even though they take up a lot of CPU with all the effects on them, because I was like, maybe gonna go back to them. Actually, this one isn't that bad. Maybe I'll use it for something else, or put the bass sound in a sample pack or something. But yeah, so that's the second half. I think there's an alternative for this part too. So that was the original. What the hell is this? Let's have a listen. Okay, that sounds like a weird bird. And this one? Okay, just a standard rhythm yoink. So yeah, there's still like lots of old ideas in here. Also, every other sample sometimes has an alternative under it, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to use the sniper from Team Fortress 2. So for the drop, there's also the... Where is it? Piss off your bloody pocket! So an alternative would have been... Let me just mute that, and do I still have it? Oh yeah, this one. Mate! So that would just be like an alternative, but I think the sniper is funny, and I wanted to keep it. Alright, thank you guys a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Now that the Basement Dwellers tour is over, I think I'm gonna have a little more time, and I'll be able to make more studio time videos. So expect those on my YouTube channel in the near future. Goodbye!